Namaste, my friends. Welcome. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of Ncell. And this App Camp project is something that I'm really excited about. I will be talking and mentioning about the business aspect of apps, but overall I think that this App Camp project that we have initiated is determining a part of the future, not only of the country but also the youth, the students, and the people who are interested in delivering results on electronic platforms, let's say. Before I start the presentation, there's a few things that I'd like to share. The speed of app development and the speed of communication, electronics, the ICT world is amazingly fast these days. It's getting faster and faster. So it's quite actually astonishing to sit and watch what is happening. Today there are millions of machines connected to other machines through the ICT world. Today there are applications that even now cars have on board, which connect them to the manufacturer or which connects them to the technical service centers, creating diagnostic and giving information about how the car is performing at any time. One other interesting application that I remember is that you can lock and unlock your door of your home using an application. So I came into, with my age, I came into, let's say, the later stages of the ICT sector. That's why I can see the huge difference between where the world was, say, 25 years ago and where the world is going now. So it is, and I believe that as Ncell, it is a part of our social responsibility for Nepal, not only to set up networks and provide mobile operations, but also contribute to the society with other things. But let's talk a bit about the app world. As I said, the numbers are absolutely astonishing. When you look at the number of downloads, it's over 100 billion, is it? Yes, 100 billion downloads. That's more than 10 times of the world population. You look at the number of paid apps. Now, this is a very interesting figure from a commercial point of view, because that is a big number of apps within the overall apps. And when you look at the revenue, that is close to the GDP of Nepal. So, in a sense, whatever is generated in Nepal that you can convert to cash as a whole country, that is the revenue of apps in the world. And I'm sure that every single day that is getting more and more higher. There's an example here from the UK. And if you look at the 2013 and 2016 growth rate, it is expected to be 33% for apps. As a comparison, you need to remember that the whole European Union growth rate is single digit and low single digit, nothing close to 33%. So this is a very clear indication of where the app world is going. Of course, the app world consists of many subjects, and here you can actually see a group of areas and how much of these apps have been paid or how much of these apps are actually free. Now, the interesting part here is when you look at the games, it says 8% of the games are paid, but I'm sure that the amount that is paid is significantly higher than probably even educational apps that are purchased, I'm afraid. But this is where the world is going. So we all need to decide if we want to be on board of this train, let's say, going in this direction, or we want to sit and watch the world go by. Definitely, I am very much in favor of being on board of the train, and I hope and wish that you here share my view on that. As I said, here you have various categories, but I think this is just an indication that paid apps or free apps, you have both versions, but the paid app part is actually quite an important chunk within the whole picture here. So, what do we do with the apps? I think this is a graph that more indicates that point, and it's pretty clear that we have a huge interest in social networks. I follow very closely on the Facebook also. When I look at our data traffic in Ncell, it is actually Facebook that is taking a significant chunk of the data traffic, and it is the most used social media tool, both on mobile and fixed. So here, what is interesting is that, for example, social networks, 25 times we activate social network. That is the 25 there. And each time, the statistics show that we're on the social network for about 2.5 minutes. So this is actually showing the intensity. For example, entertainment. 8 minutes is a pretty long time when you look at it as an average. Or there should be, yes, I'm surprised not to see education, but anyway. So there are many areas. Statistics show that a cigarette addict, as I would call them, let's say uses 15 to 20 cigarettes a day on the average. A mobile addict uses his or her phone, takes it out at least about 55, 60 times a day. So that is the level of how much mobile communications, apps, and everything is actually has become a part of our lives. Regretfully, I mean, I'm the same. I've developed this awful habit. The first thing I do in the morning is I check my mails. It's sad. Actually, it's sad, but this is where the life is taking us. So let's look at besides the global picture, let's look at what is happening in Nepal and what we're trying to slightly change to get more adjusted to the global perspectives. There are some challenges, of course, one being the smartphone penetration. Now, of course, smartphones cost, and some of them are not so cheap. But it's amazing to see how much people are aware of smartphones. Only last week, let me share you an example. I was walking in Bhaktapur. I had a guest over the weekend, so we went to Bhaktapur, and in the market there was this young guy with his goats. And just as we were walking in front of him, I checked my phone for a message. Do you know what he said? He said, "Is that the new iPhone 6? And I was like, yeah. So he had a look, and we talked about it. And this is how much people are involved about phones, applications, where the ICT world is going. You know, he asked me questions about my phone, I asked him questions about his goats. So we had a nice little conversation there. So the smartphone penetration element is actually one of the critical points, not only for Nepal, this is globally the same issue. What we are looking into as Ncell is to bring into the market more affordable phones. So the criteria is that even if we have the data network availability, you need the smartphones to increase. But this is a bit of a chicken and egg situation. So, you know, they say, is the chicken out of the egg or is the egg out of the chicken? So it's both. If we can't increase the app penetration, if we can't increase the willingness to drive more into the IT sector in Nepal, it's going to be difficult to increase the smartphone penetration also. But so far, the indication is that when you have the right prices, with the right products, the interest is there. In the case of Nepal, of course, there are some other difficulties with especially uploading on the Play stores and app stores and places like that. That is where we will step in and we will stay strong. We will be shortly creating an app platform, because normally when you want to upload an app to, let's say, iTunes or Google's or whatever, the uploader has to pay. And the payment is usually done through a credit card system. So obviously in Nepal, credit cards are still on the trend of growth. So what we will be doing is we will be creating an Ncell platform where even if it's a minimal cost, Ncell will be taking up some of that cost. It's not, of course, only a cost issue. As I said, the regulations need to be supporting this also. As I said, the lack of payment opportunities is also a bit of a hindrance which we try to, and which we will try to handle as the app market develops. We need to, of course, think to ourselves, what can we do to develop this environment? The 3G network, or the hopefully 4G network, is very important, the data network basically. For those who are not so acquainted to the terminology, the voice carrying is usually referred as 2G, the data carrying network is referred to 3G. Now there's even a faster technology where you can download, upload much faster, which is 4G, which currently doesn't exist yet in Nepal, but hopefully whenever we are allowed to do so, Ncell would be happy to go ahead with 4G also. So that basically the data coverage needs to be present. When we look at the Nepali situation now, Kathmandu, Pokhara, and some other parts like Birganj, Biratnagar, these are all the places where we have intense data. But when we go to the rural parts, the data availability is slightly less. This also is a chicken and egg situation. You know, as Ncell, we would like to grow more in the rural parts, but we are still waiting for a license or a permission from the regulatory body on this. There are other things. Examples like in Pakistan, you can actually purchase using your mobile balances. This we need to discuss with the authorities. And most importantly, what we're trying to do here is facilitate local talents on developing apps, because it is an infinite sea of opportunities, the way I see it. And as I mentioned, this is the amazing expectation by 2017, close to $35 billion. As I said, this is very close to Nepal's GDP on its own. So probably this answers questions if you have, like, should I spend time trying to develop an app or not? If it does work, a lot of people could be earning nice sums of money from as a business. Today, of course, we will be talking a bit more about the business environment, but there are tremendous apps and tremendous elements of support that the apps have for business environments. I think it is also a very important element here, what I see, showcases of modernity. So when you look at the countries who develop more and more apps, they are perceived to be the more, let's say, modernizing and fastly moving countries, even if it's as a perception. Some of the very popular business apps, and some that we use also, the mobile office, the meeting mapper. I didn't know actually about this Square Register, which is very interesting. Again, this could be an interesting part where you combine new business opportunities and take the service and product to the feet of the customer, which is basically very important for all products and service developers. TripIt, Evernote, OpenTable, you know, these, especially the OpenTable is a very popular one in Europe, in UK, in US, where booking a table in restaurants can be quite a challenging act. So, this is basically reflecting our vision of how we see from 2015 onwards apps will be moving in which direction. Definitely it will be more targeted, it will be more customer oriented. So if you're creative enough, if you look around enough, I'm sure that, you know, we can even think of app ideas sitting in this room. How do we turn the light down, which is blinding my eyes here, or this, that, and the other. So small but important things like that. I'm okay with the lights, by the way. So these are, again, when you look at it, when you think about what would attract the business, these are the outlines of what businesses would be looking to find in applications that are developed. And in the case of Nepal, obviously, I can see great potential, especially for the customer service apps. Some of you may be aware that Ncell has its own app, and on the own app, you can actually look at your balance, you can check your balance, you can transfer your balance, you can look at your previous bill. So basically, it's like a window that you can see everything about your own number, your credit and usage habits, etc. So the customer service app is definitely moving in that direction. One of the things that I was thinking a while ago is that if you want to order some food home, now you have to phone somewhere and they kind of bring it home for you. But there are a lot of taxi apps, there are a lot of home delivery food apps. So these also could be very interesting things to do. From a business perspective, human resources, at least in the case of Ncell, is an element that we concentrate a lot on. Anything to do with human resources could be very interesting, because now if you want to go out and find talent in the market, you need to go through certain search companies, or you need to give a newspaper advertisement. But if there's a platform where people actually connect for business opportunities, why not? You know, these are the things that definitely would add value to the business community when it is a app-related matter. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I will be here throughout the day. And we have a panel discussion here with some friends and colleagues. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll be more than happy to try and answer throughout today. So, thank you very much.